Well, hello everybody, welcome back. And today I want to talk about depression and sadness, which is not the same, and pain is also not the same. Before we start, I want to give a disclaimer. I'm not here to give any psychological or medical advice. Everything that I'm saying is based upon my own experience as a person first, as a coach, and as a hypnotherapist. So, with the disclaimer out, let's start. We all will or have at some point or another in our lives experience pain. Pain is part of life, is normal. The end of a relationship, the death of a loved one. When we are submitted to immense pressure and unexpected change, all those things can bring us pain. Key is not to linger on that. We're allowed to feel that pain. We are allowed to give it the time to heal. Now, suffering is different. Suffering is dwelling upon that pain or something that brought us pain in the past. Depression is something entirely different. Depression are these long periods of time when we can experience not only pain or suffering, but also apathy, aggressiveness. But in my experience, is more of the apathy. Really, those type of days that you don't want to get out of bed, you find no purpose, no meaning, no energy, no motivation, no nothing. There are of course many types of depressions. There are depressions that are literally chemical. There is some type of chemical that your brain is not producing, and you are going to feel that in your whole body. And we humans are a system, so we have a body, but the body should be aligned with your mind and with your emotions and your soul. So if there is a misalignment, we are going to feel it in every stage. Actually, I read somewhere once that the word disease means literally not being at ease. I actually remember when I was a child and I could run everywhere and I had no back pain, no finger pain, no pain. That's the natural condition of the human being. So yeah, depressions can be many. But for example, the people in the North Pole, they experience seasonal depression because they lack light. Therefore, they are not producing vitamin D. They are not receiving it. They are not metabolizing it. If you feel or you believe that you're depressed, first of all, seek help. Go to your doctor. If you are currently in therapy, please go to your therapist so you can define what type of depression are you having, or if you're just having a bad period in life. Life has a way that I'm sure a lot of us are going to, oh, now I'm going to have a depression right now. So yeah, I washed my sneakers yesterday and they are full of Swarovski crystals and now they are half full. But anyways, you may be having a bad period in life. Why? Because I'm going to turn 44 on December, and when I look back in my life, I have had bad months and bad years and bad weeks and bad days. Was I depressed? Yes, sometimes. But other times, no, I wasn't, not necessarily. I guess the key is first identify what is it really what you're going through. And then the second thing, it will be avoid everything that makes you feel bad. If it's a person, if it's a situation, if it's a habit, if it's a thinking pattern, if it's a circumstance in your life, try avoiding it as much as you can. And whatever little makes you feel good at the time, just milk it. Milk it like a cow. Exprime the last drop of that milk. Why? Because energy flows where attention goes. So I understand sometimes it's difficult, especially when everything is falling apart. It's difficult to focus yourself in the things that you love, that you like, but you have to make the effort. Sometimes the most spiritual thing you can do is actually go to sleep, go take a nap. Really, go take a nap or put a funny movie. I highly recommend you to have a pet. because pets can help in so many ways. They give you unconditional love, unconditional friendship, unconditional companionship. They make you laugh. So if you have a pet, that forces you to get out of yourself, because the dog or the cat, they need walks, they need food. Well, if you have a lizard, of course, it's going to be a different scenario. But if you love your lizard or whatever other, how do you say these animals, like serpents, some people like it. But those are quite minimal effort animals. So try to look for something that makes you get out of bed, makes you go for a walk. If you live in heavy contaminated cities, try to find something where you can breathe the purest air possible. If you have a balcony or a little garden, cultivate plants, wear happy colors. Red, for example, is empowering. There are thousands of books that talk about the psychology of color. Wearing a certain color will make you feel a certain way. So, for example, yesterday I was having a bad day. I said, you know what? I will allow myself to feel this bad day, but it's gonna be just today. Tomorrow is gonna be a different day. What happened? I had a sleeping cycle. I woke up in the middle of the night because I always do. It seems to be my circadian rhythm. Then when I went back to sleep again, I slept another 2-3 hours. And when I woke up, the moment I realized I was awake, I gave thanks. I gave thanks because at the end of the day, in a society and in a country that I have the freedom to choose, I can give myself that freedom that I can have one bad day and I cannot cook and I can feel miserable and I can just watch TV the whole day if I want to. There are millions of people that don't have that choice, and that's what I realized today in the morning. So I gave thanks. I believe in God. You can call it the divine, the universe, however you want to call it. That thing that is beyond you, that is the greater good, call it as you like. But it's important to have that feeling of gratitude. So I gave my gratitude to that I have the freedom to choose. Because there are many people that they don't choose. They are living in countries that are ravaged by war, by famine. I used to live in Manila, actually, which is the capital of the Philippines. In Manila, there is a very high percentage of real poverty. There is people that literally lives in slums that are built in garbage dump sites. A lot of these people don't have the freedom to choose. So be grateful for what you already have and really believe that whoever it is that you want to become or whatever it is that you want to have and achieve in life, you have the power and the resources. Actually, there is this YouTube channel. It's called Hyper Kids from Africa. So shout out to them, actually. It's these kids that they have this amazing talent for dancing. And I don't know who their dance instructor is, but if you can, please go and look at them, how they dance. They are kids. Like some as young as 6, some are probably more in the teenager side, but they made a very successful YouTube channel with millions of subscribers, and they do these choreographies. And if you see the background, for most of us that live in moderately or very rich countries, when we look at that, we say, oh my God, that's poverty. But they make the most out of it. So what a lesson there. What a lesson. And think about that, many countries in Africa don't even have drinking water in many places. So it's important to be grateful of who we are, what we have. And you know what? If we keep comparing ourselves to others, it's going to put us down, especially in this day and era, because with social media, we make everything seem so beautiful. Why? Because man, I remember late 90s, beginning of the 2000s when the Photoshop came about. Oh my God, all of a sudden you could be like 90, 60, 90, change your hair color, have no pimples, But nowadays it's so advanced. There are apps that literally do everything for you. You upload easy. A kid can do it. So don't compare yourself, because rarely what you see is really what it is. Nothing is what it seems. The grass is always greener on the other side, but a lot of people, especially now, are endearing economical situations, inflations and stuff like that, depending of the country, of course. But the thing is, yeah, like if look, there is always going to be someone that is going to be prettier than you, uglier than you, richer than you, poorer than you, happier, sadder. It's a full spectrum, you know. And nothing in life, or well, rarely at least, is really black and white. When you see a successful person, you don't see the sacrifice that have come. You may say, yeah, Pamela, but what happened with these people that has generational wealth and inherit? Well, you don't know what struggles they are going through. For example, you may or may not like Paris Hilton, but I'm sure the people that is my age remember her coming out of fame in the early 2000s, and everybody was like, oh my god, this girl, how lucky, how blessed, she comes from this really rich family from generations, and why is she doing this reality show and stuff like that. You don't know what brought her to do that. Maybe the parents were going to cut her off. You don't know that. And then I remember years later where everybody made fun of her, humiliate her, call her all the names in the book. Well, she made a living for herself, really. She made money. And then she did this documentary talking about her abuse, how she was sent to this school for trouble kids and she was abused there. So you don't know. So yeah, before we start judging people, let's consider that just like us, they are looking to belong. And just like us, they are looking to have a place in the world and to contribute and to be fulfilled. And just like anybody, we all deserve happiness. Let's think about that. Let's give it a thought.